Yeah, we're starting it off with some showers, John. A little sneaky shower and storm activity over the northern half of the state last night. Dropped south and unfortunately dropped too far south to produce some showers across the region. I'll get to that in 1 second. So we're keeping a shower or storm in the forecast, certainly with all this humidity this morning. Newark hit 90 yesterday afternoon, so places to the south and west of the city have already entered this heat wave. We will get to 90 this afternoon and then beyond that as we go into Monday and Tuesday. There's still a lot of questions whether we can hit 100 degrees. Being a little, conservative on that call because the last time you hit 100 degrees was a decade ago. So we're going to be a little careful with that. These storms, by the way, rolling out of central New York, producing wind gusts to 80 miles per hour outside of Albany. In fact, we got about 70,000 people without power north of the city. And these storms continue to drop south. So a little bit further south than we had anticipated. And you can see the heavy rains now in Nassau, Suffolk County. I think some of this will sneak down towards northern Monmouth County over the next couple of hours, and it's riding this ridge that's going to give us the heat. So we call it ridge riders, where it's getting far enough towards the south to produce the rains. Eventually, this is going to slide to the north and shove everything north and to the east. We anticipate that happening after lunchtime today. Unfortunately, we're going to have to keep the clouds in play at least until, let's say, 12 or 1 o'clock. That's going to limit our max temperature today in the city. We're only forecasting 90 only. It's still going to be a hot day, 90 in the city, but the further south and west you go, that's where you're going to get in some lower and middle 90s. Northwest New Jersey hills, 80s again today, higher elevations. As you get closer and closer down towards 78 to 87, you'll be around 91. Forecast high of 91. Last time we saw that was August 28th of last year. So it's been a minute since we got over 90 degrees, and that's why your body's just not really conditioned, ready to go for that. Usually the first heat wave of the season's a big deal, and then we kind of get used to this type of heat the further we go into summer. Dew points are also climbing. We feel that this morning. Dew points around 70 to 72. That's producing the rain showers across the region. Your real feels today will get into the 90s because of the humidity, and then that goes gangbusters as we go into tomorrow and Tuesday. If you're going for the beaches, this is going to be a late beach day, all right? You're going to have to start your day probably at 2 o'clock. That's when we expect the rain to kick off towards the north and to the east. Maybe Monmouth and Ocean County, you'll start your beach day at around lunchtime or so because of the clouds across the region. UVI is going to go to a 7 today, so burn time is about around 20 minutes. Yankee game today at 11:35. Also, first pitch might have a couple of scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, and then we're getting well into the 80s. That 88 is going to feel like 92, 93 degrees because of all the humidity. It is a very stuffy night tonight. This is an AC kind of night. 78 degrees, few clouds. It's warm, it's sticky, it's muggy. That gets us up into the 90s, well into the 90s tomorrow. With all this heat advecting up from the south, we have a chance on Monday and Tuesday to go to 100. Again, we're right now in between that temperature. We're thinking it could get close, especially Newark, Patterson, Bayonne. Those are all areas that are going to go to 100. It's very, very close here in the city. And then by Friday into next week, trough kind of digs in, and then we're talking about some cooling conditions. So 91 today. About 99 tomorrow. We do that again on Tuesday. Triple digit is certainly in reach, but the big story is that real feel. You get up to 99, you add the humidity, it feels like 105 to 110. That's why we have extreme weather alerts, heat alerts across the tri-state area. And I think we're going to knock down the heat by Wednesday and Thursday, down into the 80s, maybe down into the upper 70s a week from today. So, John, we're just going to have to get through this. Definitely a cooler forecast today, but you're going to really feel the humidity ramp up.